In a world where everyone is finding the next best lead, in a world where everyone is hungry for more leads, in a world where people are talking about my leads are no good, I don't know where to get leads, I'm spending a lot of money with leads and not closing deals, and in a world where we are surrounded by people, today I am here at Ages in the Trenches, super stoked, super excited to bring two masters at what they do. And today we're going to discover what is the best form of leads to really scale our business. So I'm super happy to have you gentlemen here with me. Obviously, we have the one and only Russ Lagan. How are you, Russ? Good to see you.
Hey, Lucy. Always good, Coach Lucy, to be seeing you around in the world, and on with you even better.
Yes, thank you. And we have Joshua Otto out of Naples, Florida, who was the one that said, hey, you know what? Someone taught me something so powerful that it has just helped me keep my business up and running, and I've been doing great. And I was like, tell me who. And of course, it was the one and only Russ Lagan. So let's get this conversation started. How did you guys get to where you are now? So introduce yourself, who you are, what you do, where do you do it, and what's your superpower?
All right, Josh,
Okay.
you go first.
All right. Yeah. So Joshua Otto, I've been an agent since 2019 here in Naples, Florida. And when I first got started, I was having a lot of problems just getting closings, and I wasn't getting really good advice that I particularly enjoyed. Before I got into real estate, I was a bartender. I had a massive following. People loved me. I had regulars at my bar that really enjoyed me. And I wanted to find a way to leverage that relationship that I had with all these people and use it in my real estate business. And when I met Russ, he literally showed me like the missing piece of the puzzle on how to do that. So, and it's got me going since.
I love it. That's awesome. And tell us about you, Russ.
My name is Russ Lagan. I'm Vice President of Growth for a company called eXp Realty. I run basically everything west of Ohio. And in my spare time, we'd still help people and teach and train and coach and love people to success in real estate. So one of the things I really love doing is coaching. I don't get to do it as much as I like to, but every once in a while I get someone like Josh who's willing to run with the ball and actually follows directions and actually does stuff. And I'm like, I can't resist when somebody's willing to do the work. I can't resist helping them. So I've kind of had Josh with me for a little while. He was with us for a little while, away for a little while, and then back with us again. And it's been just a great addition to keeping me on my toes on what's going on in the real world of doing house sales. So,
Wow. So let's break that down a little bit. So you said that there's nothing like finding someone that's willing to do the work. Break that down for us a little bit. What do you think is the hang up with people wanting the help, but not putting it into action?
Lucy, I think a lot of this comes down to the mindset, right? And a lot of people come into the real estate business with the wrong mindset, and then they jump in with people that try to sell them on it's easy, no big deal, you can make a couple $100,000 a year. They think it's simple, and then they get into the real estate business and they're being told, well, what you need to do is you need to cold call, or you need to door knock, or you need to telemarket. Like, I don't know a single real estate agent that got into the business like, oh my God, I can't wait to be a telemarketer. Russ, please let me call people. They don't get in for that. And then we shame them for not being a telemarketer. So you got a lot of coaches out there. They're like, well, you got to bang the phones. I'm like, no, man, like add value, then do the phone call. So we've got the business done wrong. And a lot of people aren't willing to do the work because you're asking them to do something they don't want to do. Like if you ask me to do stuff I don't love to do, I'll do a little bit, but I'm not going to do a lot of it. So what I did with Josh was saying, Josh, well, how do you like to build your business? He's a relationship guy. So I taught Josh how to build relationships, taught Josh how to actually add value to the market, become an expert, talk and sound like an expert, and then you don't have to bang the phones. Josh, do you make phone calls or does your phone ring?
My phone rings. Yeah. I might do my follow-up phone call when I send something out to people. That's
sure.
About it.
But you're not calling people going, hey, man, like you thinking about buying or selling in the near future? And unfortunately, that's what our industry is teaching people. So if you build the relationship right and people see you as an expert, your phone starts to ring. I'm not saying don't call people, but I'm saying add value first, then make a phone call, and it's a completely different conversation.
Add value first. That is something that I share with my circle of people that I mentor, and I say, you've got to come from value.
Yes.
But there's still a mental block, right? Because people automatically go to what I do
Yes.
versus what I can do for you. Can you elaborate on that a little bit? How do we get rid of that mental block?
Well, first things first is you've got to find a way of doing the business the way that you love doing business, right? So like if you say like, coach, here's the thing. It's a 2-step business. You ready? Go out and do stuff you love and meet people doing that. And then 2, add value to those same people. Because you've got something in common. You've got something that you've already met and collaborated on. And if you find a way to build the business the way you enjoy building business, think about it like this. I've been saying this probably more than anything recently. Go freaking join a pickleball league. We've got one down the street from me. I take the dogs, I walk them through the little park. They go and sniff the squirrels and chase stuff around, right? And every time I go there, there's 50 people standing at the pickleball court. Every morning, there's 50 people standing there. And I'm like, if you go and start playing pickleball and then don't try to sell people stuff, they're going to ask you what you do for a business. And you're like, yeah, I'm in real estate. And then they're going to say, how's the market? And you're going to say, you know what? I got an update on that. You want me to send it to you? And they're going to say yes every single time. How hard is that? Like, you don't need a mindset shift. You need to shift the way you're doing business. You need to shift the way you've been taught to do business and implement making connections. So like all I did with Josh is like, go do things you enjoy, right? You're at the bar. You're like, hey, by the way, I do this in the evenings, but I'm a full-time real estate agent during the day, raising a family, building a business. And what do they ask you then, Josh? Hey man, how's the market?
Yep. And then I send them I first thing I do is I tell them, hey, I just did a market report on it. I get their phone number. I'll text them the link on my YouTube page. And now I have a phone number I can follow up with them on. I can add them into my list. So yeah, it works great because now I'm showing them that I'm not just like saying like, oh, well, it's slow. I'm like, well, here's the actual numbers, and here's actually what's selling. Here's what's pending. Here's, I have my right here. I do my market report. I got the whiteboard idea from Russ, I have to say, but
I love that.
That's where I do my market report. I just do that every single month, and I have people who they literally can't wait for me to put it out. So it works. It works. You just got to do the work.
You got to do. So we have someone here. So by the way, everyone that's watching live, go ahead and share this with all your sphere, all your friends, all your Facebook groups, everywhere that you have social media. Go ahead and tap the share link, copy it, and go paste it somewhere. But we've got someone here that's asking, there's habits that are keeping people stuck. Russ, you are in charge of growth, right? You're the VP of growth for a huge real estate platform, a total, game changer in the real estate world. So you talk to a lot of people, you see a lot of people, from firsthand experience, there's people that are feeling stuck.
Yes.
What is the one habit is what Ken wants to know. What is the one habit that people need to break immediately is it a feeling or is it real that they're stuck?
Well, no, they're really stuck, right? And how do you get stuck? You can be stuck two different ways. You could be stuck because something is holding you in place, or you could be stuck because you're not moving. You're not trying to move. Think of it like a pickup truck in the mud. If the mud's really deep and you're stuck and the wheels are spinning and you're stuck, that's completely different than just sitting there in the mud and going nowhere, right? So you have to determine, am I stuck because there's something holding me back, or am I stuck because I'm choosing to do nothing? So like, if you're doing nothing, the first thing you've got to do is get into action, but get into action doing the right stuff. You see, in the sales business, what ends up happening is we get told to do the wrong stuff and we get encouraged to do stuff we don't want to do. And then we don't do it. And I'm like, well, duh. Like, most people don't want to go door knocking, particularly in Florida. It's 1,000 freaking degrees out there. You're covered and you're soaked and it's weird. I live outside Detroit. Knock, knock. Who's there? Right? You get a gun in your face if you're in the wrong neighborhood doing that. So you've got to be smart about what you're doing. But I think here's the thing, Lucy, what happens is people don't have a strong belief because they don't have a strong knowledge of what the actual factual data is. So let me give you two numbers. I wrote them on my board as we were starting out. I had a feeling this was going to come up. Okay?
Yes.
Your sphere of influence, the people you know, like, and trust you. Today, in today's market, the way the world works today, you should be able to have your sphere of influence converted around 8%. That means if you got 200 people in your sphere, you should be able to get plus or minus 16 closings out of that. Actual
Wow.
data, right? So with that being said, people are saying, well, Russ, well, I need to do more lead generation. No, you don't. You need to be building relationships. And here's the reason why. National Association of Realtors does a bunch of things I don't like. They do a couple of things I do like. Number one, they do stats well. Okay. Love that. They did a survey of the people that actually track their results for doing online lead generation and doing all the different lead generation styles out there. And what they came up with is a range between 0.8 and 1.2% closing rate if you work them for 12 months. You're talking around plus or minus 1%. You say, Russ, why a range? Well, because you've got Realtor.com and Zillow and Red Door, Black Door, Right Door, Left Door, Dog Eat Door. You got all the other companies selling leads to real estate agents. By the way, one of the big ones sold 17 million leads to real estate agents last year. 17 million.
Wow.
Guess how many homes? Guess how many total home sales there were last year? 4.09. That's
Wow.
one company sold 4 to 5 times the amount of leads than the total number of sales. So when you're seeing 1% conversion rates, are there some people that get higher? Yeah. They have ISAs and staff people and run the funnels and how they have full staffs of people, they can get numbers up above that. But the average real estate agent isn't doing that. So if this is average for the people that track it, it's lower for people that aren't super judicious. So if you've got an 8% chance of doing a deal or a 1% chance of doing a deal, which one should you be doing as a business choice?
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Your sphere.
So think about it, right? So now somebody's saying like, well, I'm sitting there stuck in the mud, spinning my wheels. Like, yeah, but if we get you working on the right stuff, then you start seeing success, then you start getting excited. And next thing you know, you're on fire. Josh is like, man, Russ, I feel like I'm beating my head against the wall. I'm like, because you are. And what happens is over the next 12 months or so, if you do this, what is the word I use with you all the time, Josh? Consistent.
Yep. That's the thing. You got to be consistent with it. And the times I've fallen back, it comes to consistency, and I wasn't consistent with my actions. That's every single time.
Yeah.
Every single, and sometimes I have to have Russ kick me in the butt. So
I'm fairly good at it. So with that being said, you've got to be willing to commit to doing something you enjoy, because this is people Like you go out and play pickleball, you can meet 50 people in 2 months playing pickleball. Do that in a different group. Next thing you know, you got 200 pickleheads you're hanging out with, and then you become their expert and you think add value, not try to get deals, add value. And over the next 12 months, next thing you know, your phone starts to ring and people are like, yeah, Russ, that doesn't make sense. I don't know. Josh, you tell me, is that how it worked for you or not?
Oh yeah, big time. Big time. Yeah. And your actions, you'll see results, and like, you can see some instant results, but usually you're figuring about 3 to 6 months of you doing the work, doing things you're supposed to do. About 3 to 6 months later, you're going to start to get results from it. You could maybe get a listing, or, you're growing your list, right? If you're just starting this and you're growing your list, you might have someone who might be like, you know what, I actually need to buy or sell a house right now, but the chances of that are not very great. It's better that if you consistently do this over time, eventually it's like a snowball effect. It's just going to build over and over. They're going to start referring you. 2 deals that I had this year was just from my sphere of influence referring me onto a Facebook group where I had like 10 people comment my name. And that took me doing these things, delivering value to these people for that to happen. It just takes time.
Wow. I want to break this down a little bit. And by the way, those of you that are watching us live, go ahead and give us a hashtag live. And those of you that are going to watch us on replay or watching us on replay, give us a hashtag replay. But, you have a gold mine board there, Russ, and I want you to dissect a little bit more. What would be the first 3 steps for someone to create their own board? And then I want Joshua to also, because people, it's one thing what they hear, right? So they're hearing, okay, work your sphere. You could get 8% of your business coming from your sphere. But then it's another thing putting it into action, right? So what are these first 3 steps that must be taken so that then you're on the path to commitment and consistency? So go ahead and kick it off, Russ.
Great question. So funny thing is like, if it can be done in 2 steps, I'd do it in 2. Right? It's like, I never hey, Coach Lucy, have you ever seen a plan so complicated it's got to work?
Yes.
No, you haven't. Yeah. It's so simple, right? But never so complicated. So what we end up doing
Well, say
is,
that question again, because if I didn't understand it right, somebody else didn't understand it. Have I ever seen what?
have you ever seen a plan that is so complicated it's got to work?
Oh, no. It has
No,
to be no.
no,
If it's complicated, forget it.
no. So the
Yes.
less steps, the better. So if I can make something that's amazing with less steps, like Elon Musk is great at this. Like him or hate him for all the other, there's enough to love or hate on either one, right? Like taking that all aside, he looks at the rocket and he's looking at the rocket. He's like, okay, by next year, I want that to have 50% less parts. And they're like, what? What do you mean? Like how? His whole thing is like, if we can simplify it, we got less things to break. You've got less complexity, which means less things break and you got more consistency, right? So for me, I always go back to 3 recipes, okay? Recipe number 1, you got to do a good market update. You got to know what the market stats are. I beat that into Josh over and over and over and over and over. Because Lucy, let me ask you this. Does anybody else ever ask you anything besides how's the market when you tell them you're in real estate?
No, that's the number one. That's the number one question.
Yeah, some variation of how's the market. So like,
Right.
duh, like light bulb moment. If that's the only thing people ask me, why don't I get really good at telling that story? And by the way, there's people out there that would be like, hey, I do one, particularly in Naples is a zoo right now. Inventory's up, inventory's down, sales are up, sales are down, prices are going up, prices are going down, price reductions, and then there's no inventory. It's all over the place, right? So you've got to be that voice and authority so people start going like, wait a minute, Josh is the guy that's telling me what's going on in the market. You've got to start saying expert stuff because most realtors go out there like, look at me, I got a giant freaking key.
Yes. Like, oh, I love the key.
Who cares? Oh. Yeah, no, like, listen, you got your title guy sponsor. I love you guys. And I love it. I mean, it's great. But if that's your only story is look at me, look what I just did, then like, that's going to scare people off because what they're wondering, they're not going like, oh, I wonder if Josh just sold another house or not. They're going like, I wonder if my house price is going up or down. I'm thinking about buying or selling, but I don't know. Is this a good time? Is this not a good time? For a lot of people right now, staying put is a great idea, which is why a bunch of people are staying still. So becoming that voice that tells people what's going on in the market is number 1 recipe. Number 2 recipe, by the way, Coach Lucy, everybody's in a house. Is your house perfect?
No.
Nope. My house ain't perfect, right? I just did my kitchen remod over the last 3
years. I saw that. Good for you. I saw you taking out the kitchen sink.
It's amazing I have any hair left at all. I almost forgot how big of a pain in the ass doing a kitchen while you're living in a house was. I used to do kitchen bath remodel a bunch, and now like, oh my gosh, I don't want to ever do that again. So with that said, like I'm sitting here going like, well, I need a good plumber, I need a good electrician. Like every house has stuff, so why don't we become the resource for that? We don't just help people buy and sell. They should be calling Josh when they're like, dude, I got a plumbing problem. Who's your guy? Like I want everybody to be like, you need anything? Russ is your guy. He's got a guy for everything. And that really does connect you to them. So Lucy, here's another stat. Okay. The average American's moving every 10 years, which means those people you're communicating with you need you one time every 10 years. Guess how many times something breaks on their house? 4, 5, 6 times a year. So if you become a resource for those other things, then when it's time to do the house sale and they see you as the real estate expert talking expert numbers out of your expert pie hole, they're going to be calling you or their friend to be like, hey, Josh is my guy. He's got everybody, knows everybody. And okay, so second recipe is manage a good contractor list. Third recipe is doing social media correctly. Instead of look at me and my stupid key, it's here's something for you. How do I add value? Here's something you need to know. So instead of look at me, here's something for you. So how do I add value? If I watch that video and say, is this about them or about me? If it's about me, we have a problem. If it's about something for them, we're good. Promoting other people's businesses, by the way, on social media, number 1 thing you can do. Josh goes out and promotes somebody else's business and they're like, that Josh guy's a ball. I love that guy. Josh goes out and promotes himself. Look at me. I'm Josh. I'm a realtor. And everybody's like, even his own mom's going to stop watching that stuff, right? So promote other people's businesses and people will love you for it. There's your 3 recipes.
I love that. Everyone needs to have copied that. And so, by the way, if you want to see the replay of this episode of Agents in the Trenches, my team is going to drop the link where you could go watch the replay. And I'm going to move on to Joshua with your board. But before I do that, speaking of becoming the voice of experience and authority and the go-to, right, knowledge that you're talking about, Russ, I want to present one of my business premier partners, right? So at the Academy, where I bring people together every Wednesday for Winners Wednesday Productivity Bootcamp, I said, I can't do this alone. So I need to find some trailblazer business owners that are wanting to, lock arms and join hands with me. And one of them is a dear friend now, and he's here with us today. So I'm going to bring him on stage so we can get to know a little bit more about him. And his name is Greg Cossin. Welcome, Greg, from Access Title.
Thank you very much. It's an honor to be here with you, Lucy, and Josh and Russ as well.
Well, tell everyone at Agents in the Trenches a little bit about you, about your company. I mean, you are taking Southwest Florida by storm with your title company, the way you do it, the vision that you have, all the creative ideas that we've been talking about, so that I've enjoyed so much. So tell everyone about what you guys do and how you do it at Access Title.
Well, I guess I would be considered a title geek since I've been in the business. I graduated from college on a Saturday and started in the business on a Monday, and I've been in it ever since. I learned the business on someone else's dime and then decided I didn't want to work for someone else, so I started my own company and ran that for over 35 years, and started to branch out into different market areas, including Northwest Illinois, from the Chicago market and down into the Southwest Florida market. I acquired a small agency in Naples, 3 people, 1 office, and have now grown it into 15 people and 5 offices, going from Cape Coral to Fort Myers Beach, Bonita Springs, and Naples. Our value, the value we bring to our clients, I like to look upon our clients as our partners in business. And we want to work with our clients and bring innovative solutions. We consider ourselves problem solvers. Our goal is a successful closing in every possible instance. And we work very, very hard. Our team works very, very hard every day to ensure that all the details and all the nuances and every single closing from municipality to municipality, county to county are taken care of, so that when you get to the closing table, it's the problems are solved and everyone walks away happy. We want it to be a very happy experience for parties at the closing table.
I love that.
My business philosophy is, Russ, you were talking earlier about growth. Well, you got to grow or die. And our philosophy is a controlled growth. We look for opportunities. We evaluate every single opportunity that comes across my desk to see how it fits into our quarterly plans, our 1-year plan, our 5-year plan, our 10-year plan. Because as I like to say, you don't know where you're going unless you've got a map to follow on how to get there. So we're growth oriented as long as it makes sense, but we'll follow any opportunity. We also, now is a great time, and we are growing even in a down market, but we're also getting ready for the good times when they come, when interest rates start easing back a little bit, and you've got to have a plan in place in order to take advantage when that comes. And that's what our leadership team is currently doing now, is putting together monthly plans and quarterly plans, so that when that volume increases, we're there to be able to help realtors across our market area to, again,
I love it.
And facilitate a successful closing.
That's awesome. And guess what, Russ and Joshua? Actually, I met Joshua in person at one of the Southwest Florida Real Estate Mastermind Network events. You remember Joshua?
Yes, I do.
And Joshua came up to me and he said, "Oh my God, this was such a great event. You have to invite Russ Lagan." And I'm like, "I know Russ." He goes, "I'm going to tell him he's got to come to Southwest Florida." Da, 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 da. So I'm saying that to say this: because of all this growth mindset that Greg has with his company at Access Title Agency and all his years of trajectory and experience, he is going to be the main spotlight premier sponsor for the next Southwest Florida Real Estate Mastermind, which is going to be on August 20th in Estero, Florida. So yes, thumbs up. So Russ, I don't know if you've got your calendar open for that day, but you should come join us in Southwest Florida. Look at him. That's go ahead and lock that date in. It's going to be a magnificent event. We've got room for people that are local, national, and international. And I'm really happy to see the, that expansion mindset that Greg has right now, especially in this market where other people are looking to shrink back. He's looking to go bigger and bolder. So I can't wait for you guys to meet each other in person, get to know him. He's an incredible businessman with a lot of knowledge and a lot of good ideas. So I'm excited about this. What do you guys think?
I can't wait to see that game in person. Like with a beautiful head of hair like that. I mean, come on.
Thank you. I have to thank my father for that. He'll take credit for it.
I had my dad in town last week with my mom, and thankfully they're both still alive. And it's funny because I was looking at my dad. I'm like, oh my God, I have my dad's hair. Of course, my dad's hair will never look like this. But I'm like, we got the same hair. Same hair. Same forehead,
I'm just losing mine like my dad.
Yes. So I want to thank you, Greg, for stopping by. Thank you so much for popping in, meeting Russ, meeting Joshua, and I hope that they meet you in person on August 20th at the Hilton, where we're going to be bringing the Southwest Florida Real Estate Mastermind Network. We're actually bringing the Winners Wednesday Productivity Bootcamp 2.0, sponsored by Access Title and Greg Cossin. So it's going to be a magnificent gathering of industry leaders and professionals and realtors, team leaders, and brokers from all around. And guess who else is coming, Russ? I'm going to have Annabelle. Annabelle, the state broker for EXP, is going to be joining us.
There you go. Yeah, fantastic. Good. Yes. Another awesome human being.
Yes. Well, thank you, Greg, for stopping by. We'll see you next time on Agents.
Absolutely. Thank you. Honored to be here, and I'm very excited about the event, the Masterminds event on the 20th of August. It's going to be great.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Joshua, take it away. So now you are the agent. Russ is the mentor, the coach, the trainer, the one that holds you accountable, tells you all the numbers. Here's what you got to do. But now you end up having to do it yourself. Tell us about that gold mine board you have behind you. How do you put that together? When do you do it? And what's on it?
I'll show you. Here, hold on, because I think I can screen share in this, right?
I think so.
All right. So I have Neighbor. I don't know, Coral there on Bear. I don't know if it's the same kind of stats, but here, hold on. I'll show you. I mean, it literally takes me no time at all to be able to share these stats with people here. Hold on.
So while Josh is pulling that up, Lucy, I can't tell you how many times I've stood on stage and said, how many of you guys know exactly what the supply of homes is right now in your market? And every once in a while, somebody just and they wing it, right? There'll be 300 people in the room. If there's one or two people that actually know what the actual stats are, like how many homes sold last year in the US, nobody knows those numbers. And
Yes.
it's like, it'd be like you being a chemist and not knowing what H2O is. Like that's
Right.
water. That's water, right? So you gotta know your basics and be able to speak to that, because we hear people saying stuff all the time. Like I was in Philly, Josh, just jump in when you got your stuff ready. So I'm filling for you. I was in Philadelphia and I was like, hey, you guys, your inventory went up 50% in the last year. Oh my gosh. And they're like, yeah, it went up 50%. I'm like, you're up to a 1.8 month supply of homes. This is 5 weeks ago in Philadelphia. If their inventory doubled again, they'd still be a seller's market in Philadelphia. Very different than Florida, but you got to know that information. And a lot of people just don't know it. So when you're talking to a buyer or seller, it changes the way we communicate, because now I'm communicating with a sense of authority and a sense of expertise. And then people start to go, oh my gosh, this guy knows his stuff. Just knowing your numbers makes people think you know your stuff. So it's the easiest thing in the world to have these at your fingertips. And there's a couple of really great techniques to just pop this stuff up. So Josh has that at his fingertips typically, where he could just pop the stats up, know what they are, write them down, and then just go, hey guys, here's what's going on right now. It's literally that simple to start talking the talk and sounding like and looking like an expert. But you got to say the words with your own face. Because I want them to see you as the expert, Lucy. Not like, here's expert info. I want them to see you say it, because then
Yes.
they think you're the guy. Go ahead. Jump in, Josh.
And that's so important what you're saying, Russ. And I think it all begins with, who am I really acting like? Am I really acting like that expert real estate agent that I want to be, or that I say I want to be, right? Am I acting that way? And we could talk about this forever, but it's true. Most people do not know what's happening in their market.
Yep.
And so if you don't have the knowledge, you're not going to have the confidence.
Agreed.
Break it down, Josh.
Yep. All right. So this literally goes back from January 2022 all the way to last month. So you can look at the median sales price in Naples, 575,000, 590,000 in May. You can see it was way high. January 2025 was the highest it's been since January 2022. And then you can go back a year. So usually I'll go over June 2025. I'll go over May 2025. I'm actually doing this video this week. And then I'll go back a year into June 2024, right? Which was at $595,000. Went down 20 grand since last year. And then here I'll go over, you can go over pending sales, how many pending sales we've had, right? It's gone down, but we're in summertime. That's very typical. You can see it's up, down, up, down, up, down. It's always around the same time of year. March is our peak month every single year, and then it just starts going down. So you can start to get to know exactly what your market is going to do in the time of year yourself. And plus you can educate your clients on this, your sellers, your buyers. You can look at the total number of sales here. I go over that every month. You know, we're at 750 in June, 787 in May. You can go over all of these things. The price per square foot, you can even go crazy detailed and go Golden Gate Estates. That's an area I sell a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll go over literally the median sales price in the Golden Gate Estates, how many pending sales we've had, what's the total number of sales, what's the median days on market or average days on market. It shows me all this stuff. So it's super easy for me to do and talk about this. I can get all of my stats done within 2 minutes. So, and I do this every single month.
So you do this every month, and then what do you write on that board behind you?
I write all these stats and I just talk about them.
Oh, okay.
Connected from my webcam. Hold on.
All right. Well, he gets his camera. So he goes over these stats, and then on the board, he writes down what he's going to share with his audience about that.
Yeah. So he kind of followed the recipe I do. This, funny enough, I did this for our big agent meeting.
Okay.
I pre-recorded that today. Don't tell anybody I pre-record that a lot. And I was talking about like how many total sales in 2020. We had 5.6 million. Lucy, here's the thing. I can tell people stuff, but if I tell them and show them,
yes,
say 5.6 and point at it, and they go, oh, it's not just me rattling stuff off. By just drawing it on my board, it puts it in reality for people, right? Right. You ever had a coach do this? Write this down.
Yes.
Like, I'm going to say it, but like, write this down. In the process of you writing it down really locks it into your head. So when I go down, it's like, here's where we are: 5.6, 5.5, 5.03, 4.09, 4.09. And this year, we're going to probably close around 3.9 million total sales for the whole country.
Yes.
So when people are going, Russ, it's just the last 3 years have been a beatdown. Well, let me tell you why.
Mm-hmm.
From just 2022, you're down 1 million sales. 1 million. Lucy, keep in mind, 1 million sales is like 1.7 million paychecks for realtors, because a bunch of these deals have two sides. So when you say, why are we feeling the pinch? Why are we feeling the crunch? From a normal year, by the way, do you know what a normal year is nationally? 5.3 million is normal. So if you're at 4, you're 20% below normal. From 5.3 to 4.09 is a little over 20% reduction in total number of sales. So agents are going like, but Russ, you don't understand, man. Like, I'm used to doing like 20 sales and I'm only doing like 12 and 15. I'm like, okay, cool. Well, everything's down 20%. So if you're down less than 20%, you're great. Or if you stayed even year over year, I did a whole nother year of business. I did 20 last year and I did 20 this year. Dude, that's a win. Because if the market's down 20 and you're even, this is what this is when we're talking about picking up market share. Like there's
Right.
when you are in a market that's down and you're even, that's a freaking win. So a lot of times when we're stuck in the mud because we don't know we're working on the right stuff. And secondly, then we don't know how to actually adjust this information and go like, what is this good? If everything
Yes.
else is down 20 and you're only down 10, you're outperforming the market by 10%. That's like high five yourself. Like
Yes.
pull yourself in the mud and be like, yes, wash yourself off and get moving again, right?
I love it. I love it.
Josh?
I don't know what happened to my webcam, but I'm back.
Well, that
Yeah.
just goes to show, like our friend John Cheplack says, it's better done, right, imperfectly than perfectly never done. So we're live and we're gonna have technical difficulties, but so give us the last part, because I want to respect your guys' time, and we could be here forever, but this has been super valuable, and I value so much the fact that Russ has joined us, and obviously Joshua taking time out from his busy schedule. So you put it on that whiteboard behind you. So break that down for us a little bit. What exactly do you write, and how do you use it?
So I have the median sales price, days on market, number of sales, months supply. And then I go over the last 7 days too, because that kind of gives you a live look into what's really happening at this moment, rather than just like a month ago and the last year. But I'm going over what has happened to median days on market, median sales price, right? Has that changed? Right now has been between 550 to 650 in Naples for like since 2022. Really, it has stayed in that range. And I explained to like what months of supply actually means. That no more homes hit the market. It would take 10.3 months to run out of homes, right? If based on the number of sales that we're having. So I'll explain that, especially to sellers, like, hey, with how many homes are on the market and with the buyer activity, 10.3 months is what we're looking at, month supply. That means you have more competition than you used to have whenever we had 0.5 months of supply back in 2022, where homes were selling in a week. And that's why that's not happening anymore.
So when you call your sphere of influence, this is the conversation you're having.
Yeah, I'm talking to them. So one thing I do every single year, and I got this from another agent, was they do a year, and I actually got a guy that I sold a house to. I asked him, what's something you wish that I did as your agent that maybe I'm not doing right now? And he said, well, one thing I wish you did, Josh, was send me like a yearly home evaluation, right? That way I kind of know what's going on in my house.
Okay.
So I'll send that over. And I do it through RPR. It's very generic, the one that I send. I send, hey, if you are looking for something a little bit more accurate and in depth, let me know. I can do that for you. So I will call them. I'll follow up with them. Say, hey, did you get that thing I sent you? Do you have any questions on it?
Okay.
And sometimes they do. Sometimes they go, yeah, no, thanks for sending it. But sometimes they're like, yeah, I do. And that can actually start a conversation that maybe they're thinking about selling, or maybe they know somebody who's thinking about selling in their neighborhood. So that can help drive business there too. Plus, again, going back to delivering value, it really does help. It really does help a lot. And even Russ taught me the crazy eights, which is where this goes back a ways, but I have it. It's a great way. As soon as you add someone in your sphere, first thing you do is you send them a welcome letter introducing you, your services. You have a follow-up call, making sure they got what you sent. Send them a handwritten note. The handwritten note, to me, I have sent every single seller I've ever met at their house. I will send them a thank you card in the mail, handwritten with my business card in it, saying, thank you for taking your time to meet me. I really do appreciate it. And that makes a huge impression. And I'll call them immediately, ask if they got it. I do it every single seller, and I get most of the listings that I go to. I seldomly don't get the listing. I feel blessed for that. But
Good for you.
then I'll send them a market report based on their, their neighborhood and everything. I'll go a little bit more micro marketing based on their neighborhood. And I'll follow up them with that. Did you get that market report that I sent you? Do you have any questions on that? And then you follow up with another handwritten personal note, just talking about, you mention anything. You mentioned another thank you. You could mention maybe another piece of value that you found. And then after that, you start getting them on the market reports and follow up with them once a month, just either through a note or a phone call. Not asking you to blow these people up. Definitely don't blow them up and alienate yourself to where, God, this guy's calling me again. Don't do that. Don't do that.
But you're calling them with a purpose. You're reaching out to them with a purpose.
Yeah, you're being intentional, and you're trying, once you get the rhythm going with them, it's all just really just following up with them. And you'll know your people. Just don't blow them up. I'm not telling anybody to blow your people up, once a month is good. Once a month is good. I always make phone calls on people's birthdays. That's another thing. Rather than like texting them or sending them a Facebook message or whatever, I'll actually physically call the person and tell them happy birthday, and hope you're doing well. And actually the last person that I called, they're like, hey, do you know a pool guy? I need to install a pool at my house. It was one of my past clients. Sure enough, I got a pool guy. So I sent him over my pool guy, and I gave him a couple of people to call, but immediately I'm delivering value to that person on their birthday. Yep. So
Russ, you've got a wonderful mentee here in Southwest Florida. He deserves a visit. He deserves you to come in person and visit him and visit us. And, we need to take Southwest Florida by storm and really bring all this value that you already, can provide. So I'm so happy that you are here. Go ahead and share one last thing that we must all know, that we must all be implementing in this market, Russ.
So building and deepening relationships is the most important thing you can do. You'll see a Facebook post from me today saying, hey guys, we are more connected now than we ever have been in the history of humanity. And when surveyed, people are feeling more and more isolated than they ever have in history. We don't feel the deep sense of connection. We got a lot of shallow stuff. So guys, think just this: deepen connections and you'll have deeper connections. It's literally that simple. People are like, well, Russ, that's simple. Yes. Deepen connections, add value, and it'll come back to you tenfold. Because even with all the new AI stuff and all the new computer stuff, statistics are showing that realtors are getting less and less repeat business. 3 years ago, 15% of people use the same realtor. 2 years ago, 11% of people use the same realtor. Last year, 8% of people use the same realtor. That to me screams opportunity. It screams we're not connecting and building relationships, and we got to get back to that build relationship. Do that, and you'll win every day.
I absolutely love it. That was a mic drop for everyone in every business of our industry. Thank you, gentlemen, so much. This is definitely not the first, right? It's not the first, and it's not going to be the last time you guys come on. So thank you so much, Russ. I appreciate you greatly for saying yes. And Joshua, thank you for connecting Russ and I again and having him here on Agents in the Trenches.
Yeah. I have one more thing to share. If anyone's looking for a good book, Ninja Selling, this book goes over pretty much everything we just talked about.
Wow. Ninja Selling? It's called Ninja Selling?
Yep, from Larry Kendall.
All right, awesome. You're gonna make me do this then, Lucy. Forgive me for this.
Go ahead.
I have a book recommendation, and the book launch isn't until August 1st.
Oh,
if you want to know a little bit more about the way I build this is me and my whiteboard, Be Followable. It's how to become a better leader. And when you become a better leader, you're going to get more listings. You're going to get surrounded by more people. It's available currently in Amazon. We're doing the official launch August 1st. In addition to that, I'll have a podcast, Be Followable Podcast, where I'm talking to people about leadership. And by the way, guys, every single one of you guys is in leadership. So Be Followable, available on Amazon. Jump in. You got 12 chapters on how to build a good life and become the person that you want to be, and people will follow you.
Yes, I love it. I love it. I love it. Yes. So be followable. Go buy that book on Amazon. Let's support my friend Russ Lagan and learn some major gold mine nuggets that he has. Gentlemen, once again, my heart is overflowing with joy. I'm so happy that we were able to bring this to Agents in the Trenches. I can't wait for you guys to meet my premier partner, Greg, with Access Title. And Josh, especially you, they've got an office in Naples. So, hey, why not? There's plenty of business to go around. So let's continue to make connections and let's continue to grow together.
Thanks for the invite.
Sure.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
See ya.
Thank you,
Bye,
everyone.
guys.
We'll see you next time on Agents in the Trenches.
All right.